I welcome you to the new horror game. Okay. As I was saying, the game is really scary and terrifying and... Bro, okay, what the fuck is going on? Stop! As I was trying to say, this game can get really... Okay, seriously, what the hell is happening? Where the hell is this music image? Leon is finally back for more action, and if we exclude the remakes, this is his first appearance since Resident Evil 6. Which was released back in October of 2012.
Damn!
And despite his age, he's still delivering awesome one-liners and kicking ass.
Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
And if you're a fan of Resident Evil 4 and enjoy seeing Leon kicking ass, well, this game is perfect for you. However, if you prefer the horror elements of Resident Evil games, you'll be glad to know that you can still experience that aspect with the introduction of Grace. This game offers a blend of both action and horror. Making it a great choice for fans of both genres.
When's the last time you brushed your teeth?
Why are we still here?
I'll provide a very short summary of the story, cause I highly recommend playing it yourself to fully appreciate the brilliant plot twist in the story and, of course, Leon. However, I must warn you, there's still gonna be spoilers up ahead, so... watch out. The story takes place in October of 2026, 28 years later after the infamous Raccoon City incident. It follows two protagonists, one of whom is a new character in the series named Grace Ashcroft. Grace is the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, a name that will be familiar to old school fans. Grace works as a technical analyst for the FBI and is tasked with investigating a series of strange deaths in Renwood. The strange aspect of those deaths is that all the victims were survivors of the Raccoon City incident that took place in 1998. One of them being, of course, Leon S. Kennedy.
Hello, gorgeous.
No! Stop! Stop with the music! Stop! It was funny at first, stop! Okay. Thank you. Anyway, Leon is back as DSO agent and is investigating bizarre deaths where he and Sherry are also infected. Yes, the same Sherry back from Resident Evil 2, and she's all grown up now. A new villain named Dr. Victor Gideon, a former Umbrella scientist who specialized in T-virus research, believes Grace's blood is the key to unlocking a new bioweapon virus called Elpis, created by Oswald Spencer, and that's why he kidnapped her. He eventually took her back to Raccoon City, where a hidden underground base is taking place, and Elpis is locked behind a password. If you were paying attention to all the notes and Spencer's video with Alyssa Ashcroft, you might just realize that Elpis is not a virus, but rather an antivirus. Unfortunately, many people, including me, were thinking with our dicks and promised Leon to destroy Elpis, leading to the bad ending. Thankfully, you can immediately try again, and the true canon ending is releasing Elpis, and we save Leon with that antivirus.
Oh, it's working! Leon, it's working! Wake up!
Oh, and there is also this guy, who he actually wanted to have Elpis for himself and mistakenly cured himself rather than turning himself into a bioweapon. Anyway, as every Resident Evil game, the story ends with a big boss fight and obviously winning. Yeah! You might be asking to yourself, what's the difference between Leon and normal people? Well, normal people usually when they see a collapsed building, they don't think much of it. We usually just say to ourselves, oh no, the building is destroyed. But Leon, when he sees the broken building, well, he sees it as a goddamn ramp. Leon is back and he might be 49 years old, but he's still kicking ass with awesome one-liners.
Let me guess. You must be the town lumberjack.
Playing as Leon feels actually really amazing. The combat in this game feels really satisfying. it might not be as smooth as it was back in Resident Evil 4, especially the remake, where it doesn't feel as snappy as it was back in Resident Evil 4, making it a little sense, because back then Leon was only 27 years old, and now he's 49. And me, honestly, I'm almost 29 and my back fucking hurts when I wake up wrong. And then this dude, almost 50, is doing this shit? But yeah, anyway, the combat still feels way more enjoyable in my opinion, especially when staggering the zombies and finishing them off with a hatchet. And also, this game introduced a gun finisher, which is even more satisfying. And after I learned how to activate this move, I just kept doing it.
Sunshine, lollipops, and green books.
In all seriousness, I'm glad we're back with more action-packed Resident Evil games. But if you're missing the horror aspect, then we have another character. So, Grace, as I mentioned before, is an FBI technical analyst, who's a bit more reserved and self-contained, which it shows in her combat. After being sent to this dreadful place filled with zombies, you're left with a requiem that Leon gave you, but only one bullet. One bullet! Okay. This part of the game reminded me of the Resident Evil 7, where you have to figure out your way through the environment and solve puzzles to progress to the next area. The constant threat of danger lurking behind every corner adds to the stress and fear. Eventually, you do find a gun with bullets, but even then it's not very effective because these zombies in Resident Evil games are just built different. After Grace's gameplay, you eventually switch back to Leon, and you notice how much more confident you feel playing as him. I just love the part where Leon goes to the Rhodes Hill Center after Grace, and because you obviously already played that part as Grace, you know where to go. And that, I believe, was done intentionally, because it really shows Leon how more confident he really is than Grace. Unfortunately, the Leon parts were quite short, and I was quite disappointed about it.
Excuse me.
However, when you return to Raccoon City, you have a much longer Leon gameplay. But in conclusion, Grace's gameplay was very terrifying, and I'm so glad the horror is back. The zombies, like in every Resident Evil game, are just built different. Unlike in other games, a bullet to the brain doesn't do much damage. So your best option is usually to shoot them in the leg to stagger them. This is especially important when you're playing as Grace, when your ammo and inventory are limited. The zombies in Rhodes Hill Center are terrifying, but also brilliant. Each zombie has its own personality. They pretty much retain their most recent memories and personalities. For example, there's a zombie who was responsible for keeping the lights off. Then there are some cleaning ladies who are stuck cleaning blood. When the cleaning lady zombie attacks you, I wouldn't really call it attack because she actually cleans your face off. There are also some singing zombies who were performing before, and now they just can't shut the fuck up. Other zombies as well, we have doctor zombies and patient zombies. One of them is very sensitive to sound, so you can take down another zombie by throwing a flask at them. Then there are the Raccoon City zombies, who have been there for the last 28 years. And you can tell because they are very skinny, and it shows how their skin is decaying. Then we also have some soldier zombies who can shoot at you. Now, if you thought normal zombies were tough, well, let me introduce you to They are far stronger and faster than your average zombie. And this virus that infects them after death, it mutates them into these terrifying creatures.
Oh God, what?
Their heads are blown apart and they transform into these disgusting foes. They are much harder to kill and you'll need a lot more bullets to take them down, especially with Grace, who's weaker than Leon. And let me tell you, the design of these guys is simply amazing. Look at this one! just terrible. Now if you think the blister heads are not enough, but then we also have the king of blister head. They are pretty much carrying some big liquid bubbles in their body, and if exploded and there's a zombie whose head is still intact, dead or alive, turns them into blister heads. It's a very cool design in my opinion. So The Girl is a great comeback of a horror monster after Resident Evil 8, where the monster is actually scary and legit terrifying. Whereas in Resident Evil 8, well, everybody wanted to slap that ass. So The Girl serves as an excellent introduction to the game's offerings. She's a terrifying and imposing creature. She's essentially a sister to Emily, the girl we rescued from that hospital where they were experimenting on her, until she transforms into a monster as well. But anyway, the girl brings a lot of scary atmosphere, and your first horror interaction is essentially with her. The amazing lighting design adds to the horror and stress of the experience, especially in the basement where almost everything is dark and she lurks everywhere. What the actual fuck, man? Putting this back in, fuck you, bitch. Oh, what the fuck, man? You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. Get out of here. Oh, she's burning like a little bitch. The only thing she doesn't like is light, so you have to use the environment to your advantage to navigate the area without her killing you. And in the end, we kill her with one and only weapon. The sun.
Here comes the sun.
Well, he fat. Tingle, tingle, tingle. Tingle, 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 tingle. Ada Wong. Excuse me, what? This doesn't make any goddamn sense. She's in this game? Excuse me? I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. She was always behind Leon's back wherever he went. In every goddamn game. But... not this time. Damn it! Victor, aka Dr. Victor Didion, is a new creepy old dude who I believe he's a goddamn fan of Leon. He's legit obsessed with him. Victor, an evil genius, as I mentioned earlier, wanted Grace to release Elpis. I know I mentioned before that everyone believed Elpis was a virus. However, I don't think Victor thought that. I genuinely believe that he knew what Elpis was, or had a hunch about it, just because of this line.
Spencer's paper was obviously incomplete. There was no connection between Grace and Emily.
Do you know how much time and money I wasted on this?
Don't you see the genius? With Elpis, all virus-based weapons are useless. The world order will be thrown into chaos.
I believe his plan was simply bringing chaos to the world, because everyone is building bioweapons these days. And then we have Zeno, Albert Wesker wannabe. At the beginning, we all thought, including me, that Zeno was the true mastermind behind all the operations. Even though at the end was Dr. Victor Gideon who was actually the evil genius at the end. Looks like Albert Wesker, he even moves like him, he even dresses as him. Well, yeah, he sucks pretty much, and he's only...
but an imitation.
Oh wow, let's talk about some graphics.
Now Capcom once again delivered a stunning game. The textures and faces looks incredible in my opinion. Now, with the introduction of path tracing, this game looks even more beautiful. Of course, this is only possible if your PC can run the game with path tracing enabled. However, if you have a slightly older PC, you can easily play the game with even ray tracing turned off and still get over 100 frames per second. The game is incredibly optimized, and even if you increase the frame generation to the max, the latency remains minimal and the gameplay feels incredibly smooth. The only complaint that I have is for some reason ray reconstruction is turned on only with path tracing and turned off with ray tracing enabled, making the game look very noisy in some areas. Now who the hell pissed all over the goddamn ladder? Now, if you played Resident Evil 4 Remake, you're familiar with the infamous yellow paint issues. However, it was necessary in that game to guide the players to the right path. In contrast, older games had a more different experience with rendered 3D models seamlessly integrated into a 2D world. Imagine like the old cartoons back in the day where you spot something out of place and you immediately knew it was interactable. But with advancements in the graphical technology, it became increasingly challenging for players to know what to do next. And this is where the introduction of the yellow paint came into play. And many other games have adopted a similar approach. However, Resident Evil Requiem took a different route. While they retained the yellow color to guide players to the correct path or indicate breakable boxes for loot, they opted for a more visually appealing solution. Instead of using yellow paint, they employed a variety of stickers and ropes that still maintained an immersive look with the environment. For instance, in the basement, after your final interaction with the girl, yellow lighting was used to indicate the next direction, and it was blended in perfectly. But the use of yellow isn't limited to that. Green lighting is employed to signify safe areas, while red lighting warns players of potentially hazardous locations. And in my opinion, this approach strikes a perfect balance, preserving immersion without compromising on clarity.
Oh shit, here we go again.
But what really touched my heart was our return to the RPD police department as Leon. After 28 years, we're back, and it's filled with nostalgia. The old safe and loot box remains, and everything is as it was, evoking fond memories. Naturally, there are numerous Easter eggs, and my favorite is Tofu. Speaking of nostalgia, Capcom has brought back Mr. X. I was genuinely surprised and not expecting it. He remains as terrifying as ever, and Leon finally finds redemption as he couldn't dodge or parry Mr. X's attacks in the Resident Evil 2 remake. Now he can parry with his hatchet and it looks incredible. Even Mr. X was shocked. Hey yo, what the f? And if you think that wasn't nostalgic enough, prepare to encounter the Leakers once more in the underground facility. There is so much to discuss about this game. I can't express my feelings about it in words. It brought back joy, tears, and a love for video games. I've already replayed the story twice. Once I attempted a speedrun, and the other time I replayed the entire game in insane mode. I'm also excited about the upcoming DLC, which I hope includes an Ada Wong's story. The game is very well crafted, but it's a bit short compared to Resident Evil 4. But there is also the graphical issue with ray reconstruction, and hopefully this will be fixed in a future patch. Despite these minor issues, the game really surprised me. I will give this game a solid 9.2 out of 10.